Welcome back to Intern to Expert, the podcast where we explore the real path of growth. From hustle to the healing to the habits that shape who we become, I'm your host, Wild Will, and today is a really special episode because we're interviewing my good friend Lewis. Um, he's someone who I've worked with, someone who I've looked up to and learned a lot from, and he was actually my manager when I worked at a company selling hot tubs and saunas, but his story goes way deeper than the sales floor. Lewis, let's start from the beginning. You are a first generation Mexican American born here, but raised with strong cultural values. Can you talk a little bit about what your upbringing was like and what hard work looked like in your family growing up?
Yeah, hard work for us was, keeping a roof over the head or over our head. Well, my father, you know, I felt like I feel like before they would always struggle, they wouldn't really show it. But now growing up, um, I I understand what the struggle was, and definitely is just keeping up with life, and making sure doing the right thing.
Mm. Yeah, when you think back to your teenage years or like your early 20s, were there any lessons or moments that really shaped the way that you see responsibility?
Definitely. Well, I had my first son, with my wife at 17. So, that was definitely life changing and made me who I am today. I push and work hard for my family.
Yeah, I'm sure that is extremely life changing, and there's not really a way to go back from that
Yeah, I
necessarily.
mean, a lot of people, they, it's either they choose family or they don't, and for me,
Mm,
from the way I grew up, I always wanted a small family, just like how I was with my father, my brother, mother.
yeah, so you were expected to help out uh, financially, personally, emotionally, like very early on in your life. Um, so did you feel a lot of pressure to lead or provide?
Yes, growing up, just being the older brother, they always kind of just came to me for anything, expecting me to know. Even as a little kid, I would have to translate for my mother, and I wouldn't. I remember I wouldn't know how to translate some of these words, the words that they would use, and I always felt like I had to push because I would fail at things like little things like that.
So your story goes beyond even your uh, delve into early parenthood. Um, your roots run deep. Your father immigrated to the United States and settled in LA before he moved to the East Coast. Can you share a bit about his story and how that shaped you even after his passing?
I had you know, he has a good amount of stories to share all the time. Um, but from what I know, uh, he he to California. He was sent over to California with his aunts and uncles that were, they kind of grew up together in Mexico, and they kind of moved to California together, and then everyone branched off. I know that where he settled for a little bit in California, it was very dangerous, and he would tell us a lot of stories of things that he would have to do or
Mm.
see things that he shouldn't have seen, things that happen, just crazy stories. I see that I saw that he learned from all of that, and once he had us, which I believe he had us at a young age, 17, 18
Mm.
as well, that he he wanted the same thing, uh, beautiful family,
Mm.
and be able to raise his kids, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, he definitely faced a lot of really hard choices. And I mean, these are a lot of things are even hard to talk about. Just surviving and chasing, what we call the American dream is such a difficult thing to do, and it takes so much work to achieve. Um, has that impacted, like that part of your family history, impacted your mindset and your definition of success?
It definitely showed me what I wanted and what I didn't want, and how it helped me shape, my future a little bit. I appreciate, all the bad and good that comes from the past,
Mm.
definitely pushed me to be a better better person.
Yeah, and I mean, I can definitely tell you that I can see how much of an impact he has had on your life. It's
Greatly.
yeah, it's so huge, and the fact that uh, I regret that I was never around to meet him. To be
I wish you would
honest,
have met him.
yeah,
He was a funny guy, real smart,
yeah,
outgoing.
yeah. I think I would have learned a lot from him, and he definitely left a really good legacy.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Thanks to him, we are where we are. It may not be the best, but can't complain either.
Mm.
Appreciate whatever we have in life.
Yeah, yeah, counting our blessings.
Yes.
We have to. Um, yeah, especially given everything that is happening right now in the country, right? All the ICE and the riots in LA, and just the tension around immigration in general, all the fear and frustration that is, starting to become systemic in our society. What goes through your mind as someone who is both a Mexican American and deeply connected to LA through your father?
It sucks. It's sad to see all of this going on. Um, Everyone wants, one thing, and it's to progress, and that's the only reason that our people come over here.
Hmm.
And I know my parents having me here was like, for them it was the biggest blessing because you know the way they see it is like we're protected, but I still think of them and everybody else, you know that's suffering, and it's sad, but honestly there's not really much we can do about it. We have no control.
Mm.
um just try to move forward, in a
Yeah, yeah,
correct way.
wow, yeah. That is, it's so deeply impactful for so many people. It is very hard to watch, especially when there's like secret police forces
Oh
and like
yeah.
undercover agents. And it's like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
like this is starting to become a very scary situation
It
for
is.
sure.
It definitely is.
Do you feel like your family's journey, from past to present, have the challenges or the narrative of what the American dream changed? Like where, what is, I guess from past, from where you used to be, right? Your early challenges must be very different than what you are facing currently. I know you're looking into your future and stability and trying to make yourself your own man, right? Which you've come very far, right? You're so young, and there's so much you've already accomplished. But I'm sure whatever you were worrying about even 5 years ago is very different than what you're worrying about now.
Yeah, it doesn't come to mind anymore, I imagine, but it's uh it's tough. Being a family of four, definitely makes you just think in the moment and try to make the best choice for a better future.
Mm.
But um, definitely changed, growing up. Um, our parents, our family would show us, hey, you have to work, work your ass off um, to provide, to make a living for yourself.
Mm. Do you feel that you have a pressure or responsibility because of your family sacrifices?
I do, just because it was so difficult. It was difficult, with everything that they went through just to be over here. We can't just not do anything. They came here so that we could be have a better life, better opportunity, and we have to push for that, so
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, you're 27, you're married, you have two kids, and you're looking at buying a house, which is huge. And it's a lot of responsibility. And a lot of people our age are trying to figure out how to even keep plants alive.
yeah.
Um, what has being a provider taught you about discipline?
uh Accepting the answer no. Things don't go your way
Mm,
all the time. It's just go with the flow, and that's the way I try to. I don't even like having a set schedule or anything because it's just always having so much, you know, thinking like, oh man, I have so much to do. I don't. It shouldn't, stress me out, but it does. And but we try to just go as easy as we can.
mm.
Just easy flow.
Yeah, stay present, go with the flow.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
try not to let things bother you.
Positive attitude.
Yeah, not worrying about things that are out of your control.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So what does success mean to you right now?
Uh it all depends, how we take it, but I feel like I succeeded having a beautiful family, a beautiful wife.
Hmm.
You know, this connection that we have at home is amazing. Just that only we understand, and it would be difficult for someone else too. Um, and I feel like, man, I've really succeeded. I'm really blessed to have that.
Mm.
Um, I feel like I succeeded a lot, with the opportunities that I've came across, took, and are working out. A lot of ups and downs, more downs than ups, but the ups are really
Hmm.
good. They're really nice.
Yeah, it makes it all worth it in the end.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Like there's yeah, I see the way that, your family smiles, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy. It's just a lot of love. Which has to make it worth
Yeah, yeah,
it.
oh man,
Yeah.
I fight for that,
Yeah.
that happiness, that the time spent with my family, love it. I can't compare it to nothing else.
Hmm. Yeah, it's really the most, in my opinion, one of the most fulfilling things in the world, for
Yes.
sure. It's definitely something that I've just like more and more have been like thinking about. Even it's like, oh man,
Yeah.
like
It's tough.
it's
You
tough, right? It's
really got to
not
think about it.
easy. It's not easy at
Yeah,
all.
having uh just also, us doing it as teenagers, having to
Mm,
force ourselves to grow up and, realize that it's not really about us anymore, it's about
yeah.
uh pushing our family, doing what's best for our family. And um it was definitely um amazing, what it has done to us. It definitely put us through a lot, but it also put us in a better position.
Yeah, I'm sure you had like a moment where it was like, I'm just gonna do whatever I can, no matter what, right?
Yes.
To do what's best for my kids, and it's like no way am I ever going to let anything bad happen at this point,
Oh yeah.
right? So it's cool. Like I see it. Like you're, there's a difference between people who are looking to eat and people who are hungry,
Yes.
and you are very hungry.
Oh, always hungry. That's
Yeah.
one thing my father always showed me. You gotta want it, whatever it is. Everybody lives how they want. Everybody. Uh, you have to want. You have to set it clear in your mind and push for it for whatever it is.
Mm.
And just say to yourself, speak positive. You know, where
Affirmations.
yes.
Yeah.
And my father, he told me, hey, when he found out that Kate was pregnant, he told me, he's like, well, now you gotta man up, you know, and you have a family to take care of, and that really stuck to me. In a way, I felt like I couldn't let my father down just because of so much he did compared to everyone else in his family.
Mm.
And it, I think of that every single day to wake up and say, hey, you have you have a mission.
Yeah, man. When I was working with you, I would often think about your relationship with your father, and just how like you just talk about it all the time, and
Yeah.
it's so impactful. And I'm sure he's such a huge influence in how you have carried yourself in leadership positions, right? Where you are keeping calm, keeping cool, especially when things got crazy. Did you always have that, or was it built in? Did you have to
uh,
learn it?
People in my family would always say that I was, the scary kid or whatever, always scared, but whatever. But being that, you know, it was kind of true, just by the way they were always in fear, of being taken away, doing something wrong where they'll be forced to be uh uh
Like deported?
deported. Yes, yeah, I
Oh
can't even think
man,
straight.
yeah, that's okay. That's I mean that's huge. That's like terrifying,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you can't live in fear like that. If your whole family's living in fear like that constantly, that's not growth. That's
yeah,
bad.
yeah. So, that what was the question?
Your self confidence and self control and work ethic. Did you build at it? And then you were saying that your family always saw you as the weird kid or crazy
Oh yeah,
kid,
the scary, the
scary
wussy.
child.
Yeah. Um, but growing up and seeing myself, putting myself in difficult positions that I thought I would never make it out of, and I did, is what also helped me. You know, yeah, I had that fear, but I used it as motivation to get through. Whatever
Mm,
I had to.
yeah. Yeah, so let's talk about growth a little bit. Is there something you had to unlearn, like a mindset or the fear that you mentioned, in order to keep moving forward?
Literally, fear. Just
Mm.
don't be scared. Just do it. As long as it's something good, yeah, it has good intentions, and it's for the best. Just go for it.
Yeah, you got to be passionate for sure. It is definitely huge. Having good intentions for sure. Also, having good judgment is
Yes.
huge, right? Bad or good intentions is not a substitute for bad judgment.
Yeah.
So you got to have it all. Um, do you struggle with burnout or pressure? And if so, what helps you center yourself?
Uh, Getting the job done, that just helps me feel complete. sometimes it does get to me where I'm, it's a little too much or I need a break. But like my father always, he never took a break. He would work weekends and
Mm.
always pushed, and he was 40 years old,
Oh yeah.
in his 40s, and I'm 27. Why I should have the energy to push through, and the mindset to push through till I can, so
Sure.
whenever I can.
Well, going off of that, man, I definitely want to say you definitely have to learn, or more specifically, unlearn working yourself until you can't actually,
Yeah.
right? Like it's resulted in injuries,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So it's like you're too young to be injured, and you have to take care of your body. And moving hot tubs is tough.
You
Like,
always told me that.
yeah, I did. I was like, this,
Hey,
like day
relax,
one,
relax.
man. Day one, I came out, and when I saw how you guys lifted, I was horrified. I was like, oh my
Just get a
god,
little
like,
scary,
yeah,
intimidating.
yeah. I was like, you're going to hurt yourselves. Like,
Yeah,
how have you not already hurt yourselves?
yeah,
Like, you're just lifting on your toes, and these are 1,000 pound machines minimum
yeah,
usually. So like, you have to team lift, and it was bad. I was like, oh no, like
yeah.
this is not good. Like, there's no
It,
equipment. It's just raw lifting hot tubs.
yeah, my father, he would always, I would tell him the same thing. We had equipment to lift, and he would be like, "No, come on, we don't need that. Grab, let's hold on, grab onto this corner, and we're all gonna pick it up at the same time." I'm like, okay, So I kind of learned all that, and it's like for him, it was about getting the job done. If it took longer to you know, pull out the equipment that we need to lift it up,
Mm,
for him, like that's just gonna take extra long. It's just kind of he was programmed to always work hard, just get it
mm.
done. Just get it done quick, good, you know. And it's crazy, and I learned that the hard way with my
Yeah,
back injury, but
yeah. Well, I want to say I definitely feel like I learned it in a good way at least. I think there was, I think I got out of it early enough because I think I was starting to get to a point where I was like feeling the signs of like chronic damage.
oh yeah,
And if I did it long enough, I think I really would have gotten hurt. Um, but there's something to be said about getting like a blue collar job and having to wake up every single day at like 5 in the morning, um, just so I can work out and cook and then drive to work, and work through lunch and do like 10-hour days or whatever, and do that consistently, through all kinds of weather,
yeah,
right? It's
yeah.
just sometimes it gets really crazy, or bees, just like bee
Oh yeah, yeah,
infestations,
definitely.
right?
I hate
It's
the
like
bees.
awful.
You have to make sure there's no bees before you
Yeah,
go into those hot tubs.
yeah, so it's like, it's not something anyone can do. Like, the fact that anyone is doing it is actually crazy.
Yeah,
You do, at least for the way that we were doing things, it was like you have to be knowledgeable, you have to be strong, you have to have good form. Like, there's a lot to like manage while you're out there, and it's a lot more than you would expect, right? Which is also a problem, right? Blue collar workers don't get paid enough. It's
oh
just
no,
facts.
yeah.
Like, it's like it's not only like physically draining; it is mentally draining too. Like, there's actually so much that you have to focus on usually, and people are like, I don't know, like this is like bullshit work that we just give to people who aren't educated. And it's like, Jesus, guy, like, fuck, you do it. You get out there and do it.
And
See how
those
good you
are the most
do.
important.
Yeah,
That's the most important role is the hard work that has to get done for anything.
yeah, right. If everybody decides to leave, you're not going out there and doing it
Yeah,
yourself.
no one is.
Yeah.
And if they do go out and try to do it themselves, it's just not gonna, be the same thing.
Mm.
That's what some people don't seem to understand. But you live and you learn.
Yeah, and hopefully, right, you are willing enough and disciplined enough and motivated enough to get yourself out of a situation like that, someplace where you are being taken advantage of, right? Like, there's whole teams of people all across America who are just vastly underpaid, and
Oh
it's just
yeah.
like you got to understand that the owners of these companies are taking in 80%, 90% of the revenue. And
Oh
it's just like
yeah.
you're just getting scraps.
And well, and that's why a lot of these workers, it's all they want the Hispanics, the people that they're
Mm,
taking away.
yeah.
That's it's tough. People that want to have good workers and pay,
Mm.
the minimum, and it's just doesn't work like that
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely affected a lot of small businesses
for
and
sure.
even medium to large scale businesses.
Yeah,
Like there's a lot. It's actually crazy how much it's changed society already. Like
yeah.
the way that um, people interact with each other is a little different for sure
Oh
as
yeah,
a response.
yeah.
Um, so, if you could speak directly to someone who's younger, uh, feeling lost, what would you tell them about what it takes to grow into your role as a man, a leader, and a provider?
I say, really think about your actions, and you want to make the right choices. They do affect you in the future, and you wanna you want to build the best. Don't give up. Things don't happen overnight. It's about dedication, consistency,
Mm.
wanting it. You have to want it. That's one of the number one. Yeah, you
Yeah,
have to want to do whatever it takes to push through. You'll get it. You know.
eventually it will come.
Yes. And it's never enough. Whatever it is,
Mm.
it's never enough.
Yeah, there's actually such a good quote from I forget the movie right now, but it goes like, "When you're up, it's never as good as it seems, and when you're busted, you only want to be up again."
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, money is the root of all evil, as they say.
Yeah.
Like we all
Sadly.
chase it. We're all money hungry. We're just working for some cheese, just so we can eat, and
Yeah.
it sucks, right? Like we're all trading our time just so we can survive and not even like thrive anymore. Like
Yeah.
it's the average person is not getting out there and going on vacations every single year anymore. It's like you're everyone's budgeting, everybody has to now. It's like there's no savings, there's no long-term stuff, and it's not even like we have social programs in place to increase the wealth of all Americans, right? Like where's that investment fund for all of us, right?
Yes, yeah.
Like
It's scary. That's why it's important to keep your head up, and again, want it because it's brutal out here.
yeah, everything's hard, everything's risky. Uh, Not going out and trying is a guaranteed way to lose.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, it's not gonna come to you. You have to go out, look for it.
Yeah, yeah, and it takes work.
Yes.
People everywhere else in the world seem to realize that it takes hard work to get anywhere. And there's so many people who I talk to who it just seem like they want shit handed to them. And it's like,
Yes.
come on, man, like you're so entitled. Like if you want it, go and get it.
Yes, for
Like
sure.
seriously.
It's sad, but that's why it's also tough. That's the way you have to build your kids, to be good people and
Mm,
humble. Can't give them everything either. You don't want to
yeah.
ruin. You don't want not ruin. Well, you don't want to put your kids in a bad spot. Where they grow
Yeah.
up and make the wrong choices.
Mm,
The world is just a brutal, brutal place.
yeah.
Right
Yeah. It
now.
can be tough,
Yes.
and it is tough. Like it's always been. Right. Like things aren't easier. Times just change,
Yeah.
and we all are struggling through different things that our parents never had to struggle with. Even like there's right AI and screens and social media and like all this content and people wasting their time online watching
Yeah.
nonsense all day.
Yeah.
It's like scrolling through TikTok or Reels is just like before you know it, hours have passed,
It's
and
like
it's
a
like,
drug.
whoa, yeah,
Yeah.
no, it really is.
Yeah.
Like there are studies that show that
Yeah.
your brain is getting addicted to dopamine.
Yeah.
So like when you put your phone down after that long session, like your dopamine starts crashing, and you're like, "Ah, I gotta go back. I
Yeah.
gotta look at another one, get
And
that
you
little dopamine
automatically do it.
spike."
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you're making yourself hooked. Your phone is a drug.
Yeah. Man. Well, gotta definitely learn some self control. I think a lot of people, everyone fails,
Mm,
but you want to use that to push harder, and uh, things as small as getting stuck on your phone is one of those things. It's like
yeah.
where you start.
Yeah, and
You
it's
know.
okay to fail. Everyone
Yes.
has those
Yeah.
days.
You need
Like
it. You
you
need
need
it.
to, yeah. Yeah, recovery and rest is important. And you have to make sure that when you are doing these things that you're actually relaxing, right?
Yes.
If you're worried while you're scrolling, like doom scrolling, like you're not actually relaxing and you're just digging yourself into a hole even more, right? Like
Making it worse.
you're making it worse. You're you're an anxiety fueled dopamine junkie at that point rather than
Yeah.
using your phone as a tool and having it work for you rather than
Yeah.
having you work for it. So, Lewis, this has been one of the most grounded and honest conversations I've had in a while. Thank you for showing up, not just for this episode, but for your family, uh, professionally, and for yourself. So, one last question to close us out. What is being a leader to you? What does taking charge of your own life mean?
Being a leader is, it's not the easiest job.
Mm,
Everyone always expects for the leader to lead and have it and do it.
mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
without fault usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of talk, especially in today's world, of the struggle of men, right? Where it's like um, a lot of men are, I don't know, the male loneliness epidemic is what they're calling it, and it's like either people are just not confident anymore, just not getting out there, not being leaders, or having a leadership mindset,
Yeah.
right? Which is like, I don't know, for me at least, right? It's like I view leadership in a light of you are working in what we can call a results based mindset, in that whatever you're doing and wherever you are looking to fix whatever is happening without anybody asking. If you can
Yeah.
see that the community needs improvement, you are going to go out of your way and help the community. You're not going to wait for anybody to tell you to help the community. You're going to go out and do it. And people are going to see that, right? People see that self drivenness.
Yes. Yes. No. It's it's again, I repeat, not the easiest role, but um it does feel good.
Yeah, I think you're a good leader, even if you are having a hard time expressing it, which can be, you know, I think that's a common thing. I think people who are, just living through it, right, just kind of innately living through instinct and being present and going through just experience is like, you just develop skills. And right, a lot of people who are professionals in their fields are not able to tell you how to do something, right? Like if you don't know what you're doing at a sport, you shouldn't go hire an Olympian to teach you that sport, because the things that they're going to teach you, you're not going to understand. Like you should get somebody at the basic level first so you can get a basic understanding.
Work your way up.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
work your way up. um, and I think you are probably just a little too far through your journey at this point without taking the time to reflect on maybe your early leadership.
I appreciate the time and inviting me to your podcast. You know, Thank you
Yeah,
for
it's been a
letting me
pleasure.
express. I'm really bad at expressing myself. I'm not. My vocabulary has never been good. It's always been like Spanglish.
Sure.
So I'm a little. dyslexic, but I'm working on
Yeah,
it.
it's okay, man. I'm sure we'll have you back, and I gotta maybe at some point I'll get good enough at Spanish and we'll film a whole episode in Spanish.
Claro que sí.
Poor guy. uh, so yeah. Um. Anyways, it has been a pleasure. Is there anything you want to shout out? Um. Yeah.
I mean, hey, shout out to all my hardworking people. Stay safe out there and keep the hustle going. Keep the grind going.
Awesome. That's a great message. Yeah, and if this episode hit you, share it with somebody out there who's doing the hard work, quietly, consistently, and with purpose. This has been Intern to Expert. Keep learning, keep lifting, and keep evolving.